dream, to devote yourself to sport, to be close enough to touch the prize. That's the fate of Paul Moore. For 3 years, he's chased the glory of winning the Tenpin Masters. For 3 years, he's made it to the final, and for 3 years, he's been the runner-up. There's no prize for consistency, only one for winning, and winning the partycasino.com World Tenpin Masters is still Paul Moore's dream. Welcome to the Metronome for the partycasino.com World Tenpin Masters. The players are down there putting in some last-minute practice, and no wonder. The competition has a tough reputation, just 2 games per match in a straight knockout format, so one mistake could be costly. This is the story so far. Jason Belmonte, the defending champion, travelled from the other side of the world to be here at the Metrodome. 1 match later, he's on the plane back home. He never really settled. Movements in the crowd and relentless pressure from his opponent meant that an Englishman making his debut has put the defending champion out. James Tidd celebrated his birthday in some style with a place in the quarter-finals.
What a fairy tale story this has been for this young man to qualify for this event first of all. And with that strike to put out the defending champion, Jason Belmonte, James Tidd has picked up one hell of a scalp.
Tidd will now face the South African Guy Kaminski. He overcame the Dutch #1 Ghislaine van der Tol. It was a nervous start from van der Tol, which eventually cost her the match. Kaminski, while not perfect, was steady enough to book his place in the next round.
Good clear thinking from Guy Kaminski and a good solid performance. He had his problems, but he coped with it very well indeed. And rather than panic and change things too much, he just made sure that he got things to work in his favour.
Her first time, it's difficult, you know, it's a quick format, and I really feel for her, but unfortunately it has to be a winner, and obviously just glad it's me.
Tonight it's all about Paul Moore, the local hero and England #1, and his attempt to win the Masters. This is where the dream comes a step closer to being a reality. This single lane has been good to Moore, but also incredibly cruel at times. Never more so than last year when he barely put a foot wrong in the final. He just happened to be facing a bang-in form Jason Belmonte.
11 strokes in a row. This is Jason Belmonte from Australia, bowling for a televised 300 game.
They don't come along very often, but sometimes you get lucky enough to see one. Get in there, Jason Belmonte! It's another 300 maximum televised here from this World Tenpin Masters. The crowd are on their feet, and so they should be. He's called Hollywood at this tournament, and now you know why. It's another blockbuster from Belmonte.
So the big question on everyone's lips, can Moore really lift the trophy after so many years of being the nearly man?
This is my 4th Tenpin Masters. The first 3 years I played, I was second every year. So it's been a bit of a habit that I'd like to break, really. It's maybe go one better this year.
But let's not forget the man he faces in round 1, and it just goes to show how tough the Masters is. Alex Liu is Asia's #1 and a formidable hurdle to Moore's dreams.
I'm happy to be one of the top bowlers here. This has been a good achievement for me for the past few years, and they invite me to come over here. It's a very quite surprise, and I'm happy with it.
Can Paul Moore live up to those expectations, or will Alex Liu upset the locals? It's time to find out as we hand over to our commentary team of Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
So Paul Moore and Alex Liu about to get this match underway. Our third first-round match, and Bernie White, the referee, just making sure that both players are happy and ready to go. There he is, Bernie, casting his judicious eye over proceedings, and he's had a fair bit to concentrate on in the first couple of matches. He's had a foul, he's had a gutter ball, plenty for him to watch. Now Paul Moore to open his campaign. 3 finals in a row for the young Englishman. And that's the way to start. Well, we said he's at home on this lane, and he's just proved it there with that first delivery. A strike off the bat from Moore.
This is going to be very interesting because both are left-handers. Both will be playing in one another's strike area. And it will be interesting to see who's going to win the battle. Great shot there from Paul Moore to start. Opens up with a strike.
Now, you know me, Cass, I don't like to put you on the spot too much, but after Alex Liu's shot, let's see who you think is going to take this one.
I hate you, Simon.
Well, Moore looked smoother, didn't he?
Lou got the result as well. It's all level. Give me another couple of frames, Simon. I'm going to sit on the fence if I can.
I knew you would. I knew you would. So both men off to a decent start. Strikes for the pair. Alex Liu's got a pretty good record at this tournament. Has always stood himself in good stead every time he's appeared here. That's why he keeps getting the invites to come back. But he'd have to go some to compete with this man's record. Moore working a strike. Or working it well, it's a double.
A slightly different line to the one that Alex is playing. Paul was a little bit more inside. Pushed it out towards the gutter. And let it really rip back. Plenty of hook, plenty of angle. Carrying all 10 pins. The interesting point here was going to be that, as I said, both left-handers, both playing the same area of the lane. Now they could actually corrupt the oil that each other are playing in, so it may be that they're going to be looking for adjustments early on. If they don't get the reaction of the ball they're looking for, it could be that their opponent is corrupting their bowling line. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a bit of Russian roulette really for these two, and you just don't know when that oil is going to be stripped away. And, well, I wouldn't have said it's happened yet. Alex Liu has been a bit light into the pocket on both deliveries, and he just didn't get the mix this time.
Yeah, certainly a bit straighter. Just leaves that 6-pin standing. A little wobble. Straighten the spare ball out.
It's a great reaction from the crowd. They just get into it, so into it. And because you're up close and personal with this lane, it's very easy to just get totally absorbed by the match. And the crowd once again really locked into this competition, and this is some competition. Liu versus Moore was certainly one of the picks of the first round. Moore then doing what he always does. He's a funny character, isn't he, Cass? Because if you were to meet him just first up, you'd think he's a very nervous young man. He's not at all. He's very confident.
Very focused, this young Paul, and he's determined to do well. When you see how wide that angle shot was, it's just unbelievable. I'm unlucky not to get the messenger there to take that 7-pin away.
Well, he shouted hook at the end of that one because he wanted it to cut right back into the pocket, and it nearly did for him.
Yeah, that huge angle he's creating that's coming back there, that's probably the reason that 7-pin's standing, but I'm lucky not to get the messenger to take it out. Back comes the spare ball, which will be of a harder surface. We'll cut down the angle and bowl this reasonably straight, just like that. That's the way to take single-pin spares.
Well, that was nicely done by Paul Moore, so he can't manage to turn that double into a turkey. But he does have a marginal advantage at the moment over Alex Liu. Now, if Liu can strike, he will claim the higher ground once again.
Alex appears to be bowling a much straighter shot down the lane rather than looking for the great coast to coast that Paul is playing from the centre of the lane out to the edge and then back. Alex is playing it a lot straighter, which is a more of a consistent line.
Far better delivery, wasn't it, Cass? He really was solid there.
Absolutely, yeah, you couldn't fault that at all. Just had some nice rotation on the ball, just to turn it over and hook up as it gets into the dry back end, just enough to carry all those pins away. You don't have to have these high hooking balls, just some rotation on it, hit it in the right place, in the sweet spot, and it carries 10.
Well, there's the max at the far right hand side, 580 for Liu, looking good still.
Yeah, that graphic obviously based on each player striking out for the next 17 frames, which I probably don't think is going to happen, but you never know.
Well, Moore tempting fate again. He went awfully wide once more, but just a little sooner in the lane than the last time. so by the time the hook started to happen, he just came plumb into the pocket.
Yeah, surprisingly, he's finding quite a lot of friction on the outside of the lane there. You would have thought that would have been a reasonable amount of oil out there, but the lane has just been freshly dressed. But he's getting a great reaction from the outside, managed to ripple it back to the headpin and carry all 10.
Last delivery was good for Liu, working a strike. Very, very straight on that one, and well, both these left-handers having issues early on.
Yeah, just missed his mark there. Just pulled it inside slightly to the right. As soon as that came off his hand, it was inside his mark, and of course he went high through the headpin. Didn't stand a chance of making the 1-2 pocket. He'll have to settle for a spare here, which he does.
Yeah, that was well tidied up by Liu. Yeah, even Stevens at the moment between these two. Good spare from Alex.
Yeah, that's a slight advantage for Paul after 4 frames.
Yeah, that's how it looks, Cass. So, and it really is a slight advantage. There's nothing in this one at all at the moment. More with the edge, but a long way to go.
Welcome back to the PartyCasino.com World 10-Pin Masters. It's action from the opening round. Paul Moore against Alex Liu.
Paul Moore then, the 3-time finalist here at this World 10-Pin Masters. Working as hard as ever, but at the moment not quite getting the results, and well, the last few deliveries for Paul Moore, Cass, have rather epitomised his season.
Yeah, this ball really got away from him off the hand. It just wasn't a good delivery at all. See the look on his face, he knows it straight away. In fact, I think at one stage he was looking at that might actually drop in the gutter. He got back and got some chain reaction going. Just left himself a 10-pin in the corner.
Yeah, when you pick up the Paul Moore biog, you expect to see under the last 12 months' achievements win, 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 win. But nothing of the sort. It's all been seconds, thirds, and even lower. And I think by his own admittance, he'd probably say he's cost himself a few quid this year.
Just came back from a big tournament in the Middle East and unfortunately didn't even qualify in the top 50. It's just been one of those seasons so far.
Yeah, the highs and lows of professional sport, and Moore having to cope with that again. But as we've said before, if he's going to kick-start the career again, this is the place to do it. At the venue he loves, in the tournament he loves, the World 10-Pin Masters.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. All of these players enjoy playing what they call match play, which is head-to-head, one-on-one. In many of the tournaments around the world, they just have to qualify with a score and don't get the opportunity to play, as I say, head-to-head stuff. This is really the style of 10-pin that they like.
Oh, we like that, and it's not got the strike.
Yeah, much better shot. Very much down the line, keeping it straight. Not looking for too much angle or too much hook. Unfortunate just to leave that 7-pin standing in the corner. Slightly soft hit. The 4-pin jumped right around it. Still needs to make the spare though. It does nicely. For the halfway stage, there's just 10 pins difference.
Oh, not much at all in it between these two left-handers. Nervy times for them. Liu on 5.49 if he strikes out from here. More though, if he cleans up, can get 5.59 for the win. Paul Moore has just been so successful here at this tournament, here on this single lane format. And when you talk to him about this, he just loves this whole idea of performing in front of the crowd. The fact that it's just a few miles from his home makes it even more special. But that's another super shot. And that's what I like about Paul Moore, Cass. It's this workmanlike attitude, the fact that he is willing to try anything to get back into the pocket.
Really got that ball right into the lane. Really gave it some juice, as we say. And got the reaction in the back end he was looking for. It's carried all 10 pins. Gives him his 4th strike of the match so far.
He might just have to bully his way out of this one. That's certainly what he's trying at the moment. Liu has finessed the ball down there to the pocket at the moment, and he's just been a touch too straight on several occasions. Taking it wider this time and got the result. That's great work from Alex Liu. Trusted to his instincts there, Cass.
Yeah, a well-spotted adjustment, Simon. Just gave it a little bit more width to the left-hand side of that, although it was still straight, and it just turned up nicely to the pocket. A real classic shot, this. Great reaction. Carries all 10.
Well, he certainly looks comfortable and happy there.
Simon, as you mentioned, it's the difference between Paul and Alex at the moment is that Paul is fighting. He's really cranking the ball up, giving it lots of rotation, using an awful lot of power. Alex seems to be just stroking it down the lane quite leisurely and seems to be enjoying himself as well.
Oh, nearly. Messenger not quite making it across.
Again, it's the angle of entry into that in between the 1 and the 2 pin that Paul's struggling with. It's actually too much angle, too much power. That's why that 7 pin standing.
It's a bit like taking a penalty, Cass, isn't it, and not being quite sure where you want to put the ball. So your coach just says, look, just go up there and thump it. And well, that's what Moore's doing.
Just give it a belt and hope it goes in. Well, sometimes it does, but not all the time. Whereas Lou is on a different type of player. He's spotting his ball where he wants it to go. He's placing it nicely. But it's a good spare from Moore.
Well, concerns for Paul Moore at the moment. He's just not converting as many times as he'd like. He's got 4 strikes, but unfortunately spares in between them, reducing that scoring capacity. Alex Liu at the moment, the man who will fancy his chances, just took the ball out a little wider on his last delivery. He must surely go there again.
Yeah, and to make the double, which he hasn't had yet. It looks similar, doesn't it?
No.
Just finished hard on the high on the headpin. That leaves the 4 pin standing. He just held that ball out for a fraction of a second longer. He would have cleared all 10 pins away. Fails to make the double.
Well, we're approaching the halfway stage, and this is still a very even match. You get the feeling that if someone can just put a turkey together, those 3 strikes in the row, that might be enough.
Well, as we've said before, and we've seen before in this type of one-on-one format, it's the player that strings the strikes together on a consistent basis, and we're talking 4, 5, possibly 6 strikes in a row. That's where the matches are won and lost.
Nothing to divide these two at the moment. Right, what's Paul Moore's next move? He's tried brute force. He's tried a little change of line. Well, looks like he's teeing it up again, Cass, for the big one.
Well, he's had nothing less than 9, has he? Strikes and 9s, but needs to string some together. Well, it's a pin in the opposite corner this time. It's the 7 pin. Sorry, it's the 10 pin. And for a left-hander, that's slightly unusual. Lots of reaction in the back end. Doesn't quite make the head pin perfectly, and you can see that. Frustration creeps to his face. Again, it can only be a spare.
It's just not Paul Moore at the line. There's not that solidity about the finish to the delivery that we normally see from Paul. He's coming away from the shot. That's well cleared up.
It seems as though he's snatching at the shot. He doesn't seem to be getting through the ball as much as he used to.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Cass. Maybe this has been something that's afflicted him throughout the year. You see the professional golfers get it with their putting, and maybe Paul Moore's just having a few of those problems at the moment.
Yeah, could well be. I'm sure he will be back. But at the moment, the string of strikes seems to be eluding him.
Again, the same shout from Alex Liu as he wants it to cut in and hit the pocket, and he's been consistent, but unfortunately it's not a shot that's producing regular strikes.
No, hasn't made a double yet. He's pretty clean right throughout the game, strikes and spares, but just can't get that double. And that's the difference between the two bowler scores just at this moment.
Out comes the Spangly spare. And a tidy up. So neither man with an open frame as yet, which is always good. We got a solid battling game of Tenpin here at the moment. Moore at the moment has the advantage, 5-2-8 if he strikes out from here. Liu though, just 10 pins off the pace.
Yeah, it's become very workmanlike, isn't it? They are actually having to do some work here. It's not a gimme game anymore, even though they're in and around the pocket most of the time. You can't dig those corner pins out, so they're really going to have to probably make some slight adjustments here, maybe with the hand release or the speed of the ball, possibly the angle of entry into the pocket.
Oh, it's good stuff. So Paul Moore on his foundation frame at last finds the strike.
Yeah, a good time to get a strike in the 9th frame. Gives him the opportunity possibly to string 3 more in the 10th frame. It should take him up to 220. That's slightly light in the pocket, but got some mix on it. Hit him thin, made him spin.
First time I've heard you say that this year, Cass.
I've been on holiday.
5-2-8 then, Moore. He's still on for that maximum score. Liu needs to respond. And he's gone wide again, and this time he's got the strike. Well, they are digging those corner pins out, Cass, by hook or by crook.
Yeah, it seems by crook. This is, as you saw, Simon, and everybody can see, it is wider. Gets the reaction in the back end. It's a light hit, but it mixes them round, and he gets the reaction, carries all 10.